Hello and welcome to the Full Send Half Mast Podcast, episode 45. And I'm still having that dang audio glitch. It only happens when I go live. Oh man. I don't know. I tried to fix this on the watch party and I thought I had it fixed, and I guess I do not have it fixed. So we might have to just go with that little bit of echo again this week. Sorry about that. I don't know what else to do. Ever since this update on OBS, it's Bear with me a second here. I am struggling here. I don't know if it's a OBS problem or if it's a Discord problem at this point now. Okay. I think we should be fine now.
Test, test.
Yep, you're picked
All right.
up now.
All right. So,
Except now you're picked up through here. This app, this is the best service of all time. I think I know how to fix it though. At least for your end. My echo problem, I have no idea. It's a ghost. It's living inside my computer for some reason. And then I go here. Okay, we should be fine now, hopefully. Cross my fingers.
test, test.
Yep, we're good now.
All right.
My echo's still here, but you're good. We're good. We'll figure this out on the off-tail stream.
So, I was gonna say, I thought for sure Porcher was going to choke it this weekend, 100%. I thought Vesti was gonna steal it, but I don't know. I thought Vesti pretty much had it in the bag right there, going into Yaz. Like he was on the offensive, going into Yaz, and I thought that he was going to be the guy to steal that championship, but I don't know. It's crazy. To me, honestly, it's crazy. Porcher held on to it. Honestly, it was a great drive by him.
Yeah, I mean, he did everything he needed to do. He didn't want to let Vesti get
Yeah.
away from him and win that race. He battled him as hard as he could, lap after lap, and kind of allowed Jack Doohan to kind of take off.
Yeah.
That's what he needed to do. Could not have Vesti win that race, and that's exactly what didn't happen. So, yeah, he won the championship, I believe, by 11 points at the end there. So,
Yep.
impressive. All right, now we're going to talk about the Formula One Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final race of 2023. We saw Verstappen on pole again. Really, the only major incidents in this race was when Hamilton had contact with Pierre Gasly around lap 40 or 30 something, I believe. It kind of damaged both their cars. It really affected Gasly. I think Alpine kind of messed up Gasly's strategy from the beginning of that race anyway. Is what they've been doing all season long, kind of giving the preferred strategy to Ocon. And then we saw Sainz on that second stint of the race. He goes and he qualified P16 after the FP1 crash. They bowl out this bold strategy because they're in this tight battle with Mercedes for the Constructors Championship. They go and stretch out as long as they can on that hard set of tires. And we'll talk about that more here in a second. The next major contact was on lap 47. Perez was pushing real hard at the end of the race, had a potential opportunity to get to P2 for the 1-2 for Red Bull, which ended up happening. Although the contact with Norris, they deemed that as a offensible move, and so they gave him a 5-second penalty. So he's charging late at the end of this race. Charles Leclerc knows what's ahead of him with the Ferrari Mercedes battle. He allows Perez to get ahead of him to try and hopefully build that 5-second gap over Russell, so that would lose points for the Mercedes. Ultimately didn't happen though. Perez ends up finishing P2, but ends up finishing P4 with the 5-second penalty. And the one thing that really confused the absolute life out of me is Carlos Sainz goes on this bold strategy with the long stint with the hard tires at the end of this race. Why did Ferrari pit Sainz from P10 with 2 to go with that tight of a constructors championship battle going on? Does this make sense to you, or is this
No.
just a Ferrari blunder again?
I mean, try to get that extra point, but I don't know, man. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up at all. But you know what? You could say typical Ferrari. I mean, just so typical.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I feel like in this offseason, the only chance Ferrari has at contending for a world championship or even a constructors title, they just got to clean slate that entire strategy team there at Ferrari, in my opinion.
Yeah.
How many times have we come on this podcast and said, oh, Ferrari was running good and then had a terrible strategy? I mean, the fact that it was even this
every
close
race
with Mercedes to begin with is just mind-boggling. I mean, Ferrari's been the second best team all year, and they didn't even finish P2 in the constructors. It just blows my mind. Absolutely ridiculous. And then and then again, I mean, Sainz, is he really that level of Leclerc? No, but it's just mind-boggling why they would pit him. Why didn't they just stretch it to the end, trying to get that extra point right there at the end? I mean, he would have been able to hold off Stroll.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but yeah, that ended up costing Ferrari P2 in the constructors. Verstappen ends up winning with the penalty to Perez. Leclerc goes to P2, and then Russell P3. And Verstappen fastest lap. You might as well just cap off the hat trick, right? Pole, fast lap, win the GP, end the season, 19 wins. Just insane. And then that's what I want to talk about here. That's why I said we're gonna do things a little weird here today with this podcast. With this win for Red Bull and Max Verstappen, Red Bull actually owes the FIA $7.4 million in entry fees for 2024.
Oh man.
It's unbelievable, dude. Just for them to start the first race at Bahrain next year, they have to pay the FIA $7.4 million.
Wow.
Unreal. You can't make this up. Honestly, I think Red Bull and Verstappen had one of those years in Formula 1 that you couldn't even replicate on easy mode on F1 2023. Oh, man. Alrighty. So, yep, that was pretty much a summary for this weekend. The Driver of the Week nominees, we're going to nominate Frederick Vesti for that sprint race performance. What an absolute drive. He knew he had to win the sprint race, had to win the GP. He ends up going on from like 4th all the way to the lead there in the sprint race and wins. I'm going to give a shout out to Yuki Tsunoda. Qualified P6, ran in the points all day long, even led laps. He was the only other leader besides Max Verstappen in this race. Yes, off strategy, but he had great pace and finished P8. Great job for him. And then Oscar Piastri as well, because honestly, I didn't think he was going to finish as well as he did, especially after that first stint. He just faded pretty quickly, ends up surviving, comes home P6. Big moment there for Oscar Piastri. And then for Bonehead Move of the Week, I'm going to nominate Carlos Sainz for his practice crash that set Ferrari in the absolute negative right off the beginning of the weekend. Pretty much throughout any chance they really had to beat Mercedes for the constructors. And then Sergio Perez running into Lando Norris. I mean, just another typical Sergio Perez move, in my opinion. He was way faster. He would have got by him anyway. Still probably would finish P2 without that contact. And then also, I'm going to nominate the entire Ferrari strategy team for that pit stop for Carlos Sainz. I know in the grand scheme of things, at the end of the day, it didn't really matter because they were going to lose anyway. But, like, why not just take a chance? Like, crazy things can happen. And they gave up before it even got to the point where any craziness could happen.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And then for the final driver's points, we know Verstappen was P1, Perez P2, Hamilton P3. But to round out your top 6, Alonso stole P4. Leclerc, with his performance at the end of the season, came out of nowhere to get P5, and Lando Norris falls to P6. And then for the constructors, Mercedes did end up beating Ferrari there for P2 in the constructors. Just a blunder flop for Ferrari here this season, in my opinion. Alrighty, so we're going to get up into some news here. Graham Rahal signs a multi-year extension with Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan. I didn't see this coming. Did you see this coming? I felt like he was at the end of his career here.
The fact that his dad owns it with Letterman and Lanigan, yeah, but like, how much longer is Graham gonna take up a seat, bro? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much how much longer is Austin Dillon gonna be in that seat? How much longer is Stroll gonna be in his seat? You know what I mean? Like, who knows? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we'll see what he can do next year. I mean, he did kind of turn it around a little bit there at the end of the year to see if they can kind of roll that momentum over to 2024. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
well,
I don't
Austin
know.
Dillon won a Daytona 500.
Fair enough. And then also, there's some interesting leak. I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I think this is an awesome idea. Kyle Busch making a potential start in the V8 Supercars next year. W.
Yeah,
W.
big W.
W. I think this is
Big
awesome.
W.
I think that this is something that I think me and you talked about it yesterday, Tom. Hear me out on this. I think this is a legit thing that we could see in the near future, honestly. NASCAR's point system, we've said it many times, and they've proved it by themselves. Doesn't mean anything. You win a race, you're in. You could break your leg, claim mental health issues, have family things you don't want to disclose to public and hide, hibernate for a few months and not race, and you could still be in the playoffs, right? What's gonna stop NASCAR from potentially say Kyle Busch wants to go run 6 V8 Supercar races next year? Say he wins the second or third race of the season, and then just claims some type of issue or something, goes and disappears to Aussie land for a little while, runs some V8 Supercar races, comes back in August and competes for the NASCAR championship. What's going to prevent Kyle Larson from doing the same? I think this
That's a
is
big
dub.
old. It's a big old can of worms for NASCAR. For
It
sure.
is, but it's a dub.
Yeah.
I think
Why
honestly,
wouldn't it
who's
be?
the most to benefit from this?
NASCAR.
NASCAR. They're
Yep.
going to get their stars out in other series, racing
Yeah, but-
against other international talent and proving how good NASCAR drivers are. It just bumps the stock of NASCAR. I mean, it legitimizes their title, but it boasts their viewership.
But we're talking about Big Daddy NASCAR here. They're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to penalize somebody.
Yeah,
That's
somebody.
that. You know it. You know it. Yeah, anything to grow the sport, you will be penalized for. That's just the sad reality.
What do you think Kyle Busch's odds are of competing in the V8 Supercars? Not necessarily for a win, because what SVG did is like a 1 in a million, But
I don't think he's gonna do anything.
yeah,
I mean, when was the last time that we saw Kyle Busch competitive at a road course? I'm pretty sure it
been a
was
while.
the COT cars, wasn't it? Oh, except for his championship run in 15.
Yeah,
Didn't he
at
win Sonoma?
Yep.
Yeah. But other than that, when was the other time?
This year at the Roval might have been the best one I've seen him have in a long time.
Yeah, but he still didn't even win the race.
That's true.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. And I feel like the V8 supercars might be just a little bit tougher to drive.
Oh, they're gonna be way tougher to drive. I mean, he's gonna be driving on the other side of the car.
Yeah,
People
that
don't
too.
realize that with SVG,
Yeah.
like how crazy that was. It's gonna be the same for Busch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to learn how
Yeah.
to shift with his left hand.
Shifter is going to be on the wrong side. I don't know. I mean, if anything, it's good publicity, right?
It's great.
That's what we
publicity.
need.
You got Larson running the 8500. Now you got Kyle Busch potentially in a V8 supercar. I mean, why not? Let's get more of this. Let's send William Byron off and run a Formula One race. Let's get him in Monaco. Let's
Oh,
take up that
God.
Logan Sargent seat.
I don't know. Could he do better than Logan Sargent?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be tough.
I don't know. There's got to be some sort of simulation that could tell us if he would do better. There's got to be.
Or we
I
could
really
just
think.
do the National Battle of the Nations series, and we could
Yeah.
really find out who the best drivers are. But yeah, until
Hey,
ESPN comes to our door and knocks down our door for broadcasting opportunities, I don't know if that'll ever happen.
I thought of a great car for that Battle of Nations, right? How about a V6, just like a 3.6 liter, 3.5 liter V6, 4-wheel drive Geo Metro?
Yes.
Yeah.
With no fenders.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Do
Just
like
take the downforce off of it.
185, 35, 15 tires and full send.
Full send. I
Yeah.
agree.
We can't do something like a, rallycross car or something, because I mean that's already done. We got to
Yeah.
do something new and exciting. How about we put like a big old V8 in a freaking Beetle
There you go.
and
Now we're on to something. Oh man, my Discord crashed. Wait, 1 second, everybody. All right, I'm back. My Discord is crashed. This has just been a whole host of issues today. Let's hopefully figure this out here. We got a lot of work to do over this next few days to figure out what's going on with my OBS. Um, and with the William Byron Logan Sargent replacement opportunity, kind of a joke, but that kind of opens me up to my next point or topic I want to talk about here. Is we have currently one open seat available in Formula One for 2024. That's with Williams. Logan Sargent is the only one not on contract to come back for 2024. Who do you think we see in that car, and or who would you like to see in that car?
I mean the obvious choice would be Porsche, right? I mean if I was Williams,
Right.
I would go after him because he just won the F2 champ. That's what I would do. I mean, and coming fresh off of a championship like that, why not? I mean, really, who else is there? I mean, you could go ahead and do the same thing that Williams did with Albon and go after a ex Red Bull driver with Nick DeVry. You could do that, or you could go after some reserve drivers like Mick Schumacher or Fittipaldi. Oh no, sorry, Fittipaldi's going to IndyCar. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Mick
Who's
Schumacher is going to. We'll talk about that in a second. Don't want to shoot that guy.
Yeah,
that
but
market quite real quick.
F1 or the question mark? You know what I mean? But besides the point, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities. I don't think Logan Sargent's coming back. I don't. I don't think so. I don't think
I'd almost
that's
put money at it at this point.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back. But there's still a lot of good choices. I mean, Williams, I would either go for mainly I would go for Porsche, and then if I couldn't get him, I'd go after Nick DeVry, and I'd get that ex Red Bull team or ex Red Bull drivers back together and make them drive with a vengeance. That's what I would do.
There you go. I like the Porsche thing, but I feel like he's going to be in a pretty good position being a reserve driver next year for Alfa Romeo. The one I'm looking at though, he is a reserve driver for Mercedes. Mercedes doesn't have an open spot. He's probably, in my opinion, I think he is the best driver in Formula 2. He's proved it this year on multiple occasions. Got the most race wins. Why not a Frederick Vesti? He's got the ties to Mercedes. This would be a good jumping stone to get to a Mercedes ride eventually. Why not Frederick Vesti?
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad choice at all.
Trial by fire, right?
Yeah, if I was Vesti though, like I'm already pretty rooted in F2 and I didn't win the championship. You come back next year, who do you have to battle?
Your teammate,
right?
Ollie Behrman, probably.
Basically. I mean, really, that's it. Nobody else. But he bested Behrman. Even after getting cheated out of a Baku win.
Yeah,
he still bested him.
Thanks.
So, I mean, look, however you want to look at it, you can go back to F2, battle for a championship, or maybe jump into a F1 ride, maybe a little premature. I mean, we just saw what happened to Logan Sargent, right? I mean, you always have that risk of jumping into an F1 team and being the next Logan Sargent, or Brandon Hartley, or,
Giovinazzi.
Giovinazzi, or Pascal Wehrlein, or
Nick DeVries.
Alexander Rossi, or you know, you can go on and on with this list. I almost said Pastor Maldonado, but at least he won a race.
That's true.
So
It's
I
true.
can't, I can't go and say that Logan Sargent is comparable to him. Plus, Pastor Maldonado wrecked a lot more. So,
That's true.
but at least he won a race. but yeah, I don't think Logan Sargent's coming back. Two, Pourchaire is a great option, and I think Vesti's is a decent option as well. And I think Nick DeVries, he already has F1 experience. He's looking. I know he has something with WEC. Is that right? He's got announced with a team there.
Yeah.
I forget. Damn. But anyways, I mean that's what I would do.
Well, there you go. Well, if you guys have an opinion on who you think is going to get in that Williams seat or who you would like to, put that in the comments below. We'd like to see what you guys have to say. More news. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about it. The new Toyota Camry in the Cup Series.
Oh my god. How can you go so far back? Right? Look, the Gen 6 car, beautiful. It was beautiful. Right? I mean, it was like what I thought the epitome of what a race car should look like. Right? And then we go into the next gen. I think it was a downgrade. I don't think the Toyotas look good. I don't think any of the cars look good, but mainly the Toyota. I don't think it looked good. And then they come out with this hunk of crap. Holy cow! How could you how could you downgrade? These guys took it as a personal challenge to downgrade their own car. I don't get it. Holy cow! Who? Man. I hope that car just absolutely lights the world on fire, because that's the only thing that it's got going for it. And looks ain't it. It ain't it at all.
When I saw the image, I thought it was a rebadged 2011, 2012 Chevy from the early gens or the late Gen 5 era. Because that car was ugly too.
That thing was awful.
Oh,
man,
and we're gonna
how
have
could
more
you
of those
make
on
it
track
worse? How could you make it worse? You know, good lord. Maybe they need to do like what they did at Phoenix with the NASCAR, JJ Yeley's car, where the NASCAR fans dictated the outcome.
Yeah.
Why can't the NASCAR fans dictate the outcome of the looks of the cars? Good lord. They would have done a lot better than that. I have faith in the Appalachians that they could have done better than that.
I think the problem is we'd end up with a Prius in the Cup Series. I think that's what... Alrighty.
It's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's inevitable. And then to the Mick Schumacher, I was kind of holding off on this one, but it was announced that he is added to the Alpine World Endurance Championship lineup in 2024. I think it's a big dub. I would rather go race in the World Endurance Championship if I was in Mick Schumacher's situation than being a reserve driver at Mercedes, right? Like,
I mean, at least you're driving, right?
drive.
For a championship. That's what I would say. I mean, at least you're driving, but I mean, I don't know. Would you rather be like chilling with Toto Wolff every weekend, or would you rather be driving? I mean, that's how you really got to look at it, right? But Toto Wolff, hold on, Toto Wolff has all the connections in the racing world. I guarantee you, Toto Wolff got him this Alpine ride. Guarantee it. But would you rather be, you know, that next person in line to jump into a Mercedes car, or would you rather be running an Alpine car in WEC?
Well, I mean, tough because Mercedes has
exactly, it's tough.
Behrman, and then they also have Vesti in the lines right now.
Yeah.
I mean, and then even Albon. I mean, that could be a dark horse for a potential Mercedes ride someday. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of competition there for that ride. I mean, at least you're guaranteed a chance to win a World Endurance Championship with Alpine in their inaugural year, which we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough choice.
It is a tough choice, absolutely. But honestly, though, it's good to see that Mick Schumacher kind of moving on. You know, F1 deal didn't really work out. Mercedes actually picked up Mick in spite of Ferrari. So that's kind of interesting that they picked him up out of spite, and now they're kind of pushing him out to WEC. That's how I kind of look at it. But nonetheless, I think it's good for him to get behind the wheel again and fight for a championship.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I think it's gonna be entertaining. And like I said, we'll talk more about the WEC stuff here a little bit later. What our plans are for the off season. Um, Also, let's see. We got a big announcement from the Cars Tour, the one that Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick, Justin Marks, Dale Jr. own. They've got a brand sponsor now, Remax Cars Tour is what they're rebranding to, and they got a full broadcasting deal with Flow Racing. I think this is a big dub for short track racers around the country right here. It's going to put the Cars Tour as pretty much premier late model series because what the ARCA was trying to do with the West and East, and then the K&N, and then it became the ARCA West and East. It's kind of, I mean, it's just not the same, right? I mean, honestly, ARCA should just go to one full series, but that's just my opinion. This is kind of what they wanted to accomplish here, isn't it? What they got now with the Cars Tour. I think this is a big step for grassroots racing and maybe another outlet to find a way into like an Xfinity series from this, pick up
Yeah.
sponsorship and recognition and brand identity, right? They got their brand identity. They're exclusively on Flow Racing. So,
Yeah.
I think
It
it's
is a
big.
W for sure. Big W. Especially with how they want to grow the Cars Tour and how small the Cars Tour has been in the past 10, 20 years. Honestly, we're going to see a huge spike in popularity, I think, specifically in the Cars Tour next year. It's going to happen. You got 4 people who are so passionate about it. They're going to make it work. They're
Yes.
going to, at all costs.
And hopefully this opens up for more money and revenue for the teams so that maybe we can turn the Cars Tour into a national tour. Maybe
Yeah.
run a few West Coast races. Or maybe
Yeah.
even open up a second Cars Tour on the West Coast and bring more West Coast talent onto the surface and race at some of the popular West Coast tracks like Irwindale and
The bull ring.
Stockton or the Vegas Bull Ring, yeah. Or Tucson even.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it'd be cool to expand that series even further. But we'll see in the future. I mean, I feel like they're just in the infancy years of what the Cars Tour could become.
Yeah.
And then also another thing, Monster Energy has left Mercedes and they're going to McLaren for 2024. They've been with Mercedes for 13 years, and they are ditching them for McLaren. What did Zach Brown have to do to get this deal done?
He's got to have like the highest quality knee pads out there on the market. Got to.
Unbelievable.
There's no other way. You know how much money Monster has dumped into this? How else could you pull that off? That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
thought it was pretty crazy myself when I read it. I was like,
You know,
this
I'm
is fake
sure
news.
that 95% of the contract talks was Lando Norris and then 5% was Piastri. But still, I guess they're that marketable. I mean, even their road cars suck. I would choose a Mercedes over a McLaren.
Me too.
I mean, come on. What are we? I don't know, man. I think that's a big old L for Monster. Huge W for McLaren, but Mercedes just got to be over here thinking that they got blindsided or something. That's what I would feel like.
Yeah, I mean, unless they go and pick up like NOS Energy or something and just rub it back in the face of Monster, that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be a cool idea to do.
That or like Rockstar or
Yeah, Rockstar.
Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull. Imagine Red Bull starts funding Mercedes. They got to make their money back somehow, right? They got that 7.4 million they owe to the FIA.
Hey, look, if they're sponsoring the top 2 teams in F1, who's really losing here?
That's true. I mean, that's true. Alrighty. And then a couple more little bits of news here. We've got Paddle Ward saying that once he wins Indy 500, he's going to Formula One. He is officially, after September, at the end of the IndyCar Series season this year, he's going full-time as a reserve driver for McLaren. I think this is a big L for Pato. I think it's a big L for American motorsports. I think it's a big L for IndyCar. Pato Award is the Ross Chastain of of IndyCar. I mean, this would be the equivalent if Ross Chastain tomorrow decided, "Hey, I'm going to leave NASCAR. I'm going to Australia. I'm going to be full-time V8 supercar driver." That would be the biggest loss and L for NASCAR. This is what it is for IndyCar. Pato Ward is exciting. He creates just moments. You sit in awe watching Pato Ward race. Like, he's amazing. I don't understand why I'd want to go to Formula One.
Gotta be the biggest L for IndyCar, America, American motorsports, and I'm gonna go even a step further. Mexico. What? It's got a biggest L for Pato. What are you doing? Man, McLaren kicked out their one driver who won them a race in over 10 years. 10 years, and they just booted him. What do you think they're going to do to you? My good God, Lord. Almighty Christ Jesus. What are you doing? My guy, they're going to throw you out to the side like chopped liver. They don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about anybody else except Lando Norris.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all they care about. How can people not see this? It is insane. Why would you... McLaren is such a cancer. It is such a cancer. It is a cancer to IndyCar, it's a cancer to drivers, and it's a cancer to any motorsports fan in the world right now. It's such a cancer. And people don't see it. Pato Ward can't even see it. Man.
Yeah, I mean, let's say best case scenario, right? He ends up getting the ride over Piastri in 2025. Best case scenario. Not saying this is going to happen. Not saying
Piastri's going to win a race before Lando.
Okay, but let's just put this into perspective. Lando's not going nowhere, right? Let's say Piastri just flops next year. Pato gets the ride in 2025. Pato goes out and sets the freaking world on fire, wins 10 Grand Prix in 2025. 2026, he's out. Lando Norris could win 0. He'll still be in. Why would you do that? Why would you put yourself to be... Why would you go somewhere where you're going to always be second best, no matter how well you do?
And that's another thing. He goes to F1. They're not giving him the best parts. No. They're giving him to Lando. So now you got an underperforming car every race weekend, and then you get the negatives, the negative outlook on yourself. Oh, well, it's just Pato Ward. Look at him. He can't do anything. Well, by God, he's got the third spare parts on his freaking car. You know, it's gonna happen. Look, if he goes out there and sets the world on fire in F1, that's good. That's what we want. Because that means that IndyCar is actually a pretty tough series to go out and win in. But I might be a little pessimistic here, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Pato Ward's not gonna do a damn thing in F1. He's not. And it's half of it, right? I'm going to say about 85% of it is going to be because of McLaren.
I agree. I think that was.
And 15% is going to be inexperience, and that's it. And that's it. We drive Formula cars here in America with IndyCar. IndyCar is a Formula car, but we're talking about a whole different. I mean, this is premier open wheel Formula cars where constructors can make adjustments on their bodywork adjustments, suspension adjustments on their cars week in and week out. He has no freaking idea.
And it's not a driver question or talent question at all, for sure.
He's got it. He's got it. But it takes a minute to get used to that sort of thing. I mean, we're going to see it with Kyle Larson when he gets into an IndyCar. It's going to take a minute for him to get used to it. Kurt Busch talks about it all the time when he ran the double. He said he had to throw away everything he knew about learning or driving a race car and relearn how to be a race car driver while he was in that IndyCar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, imagine doing that but going to F1.
Where nothing's on a level playing field. It's not a spec car.
And everything changes every weekend.
Yeah.
L, Pato.
I agree. L for Pato. And then the last little bit of news here, we got two more things to talk about. RFK leaking a third Daytona 500 entry. They posted this picture. It was dark and it was just a body outline. Me and
I
Tom
think I
sat here
nailed
for
it.
about 5 minutes for a podcast, kind of debating who it could be. We threw out names like uh, Greg Biffle. We threw out
Trevor
Trevor
Bayne.
Bayne, Carl Edwards, even. I think we even threw out AJ Allmendinger, even though it's not even possible. But like we're trying to figure out whose body this could be. And I think we've decided. You think we've decided? I
I
think
think
we've decided.
I think it's right. I think
Yeah.
it's right.
We think it's David Reagan. I think David
Yep.
Reagan's coming back to run the Daytona 500.
I think it is. You know, when I first saw that photo, instant first thought was David Reagan. And I was like, nah, that's not David Reagan. No, it's got to be somebody like Greg Biffle. Or maybe because, well, maybe it's like Trevor Bayne because he's trying to work his way back up. He's run a couple races in Xfinity. And then I was like, well, maybe Carl Edwards. Because this year at Darlington, he said he'd love to come back. And then I was like, oh, you know what? We got this great tool called Google. Let's pull up some pictures. So then we start pulling up some pictures. Nah, it doesn't look like Greg Biffle. His ears are too hairy. You'd be able to see it. And then we looked at who else did we look at? Carl Edwards.
AJ
No,
Allmendinger.
it's AJ Allmendinger. No, it's not AJ.
It's not. Can't be.
And then I wish we could show this photo, but we pulled this photo up of David Reagan, and I kid you not, it is just carbon
Might be able to show
copy.
it. I haven't seen. Oh, I do not. I lie. That's unfortunate.
That's
But
alright.
yeah, it literally looks like an absolute carbon copy of David Reagan. He was in
Yeah.
the BK racing outfit. Even the way
Yeah.
the sleeves fit his arms look the same. Like his head outline looks the same. Ears are 100% the same. So yeah, we think it's David Reagan. David Reagan, the Daytona 500. That's gonna be crazy.
Honestly, it's not anybody else but David Reagan. Honestly.
Alrighty, and the last little bit here that I've got is this weekend is the Snowball Derby at Five Flag Speedway. And notable entries this weekend, we got Eric Jones, William Byron, Ty Majeski, William Swallich, Noah Gregson, Carson Oswald, Ryan Preece. I think we should kind of preview who we think is going to win. We're not going to do dark horses or get in depth with this or anything. Just based upon the entry list, we're going to pick a favorite. Tom, I'll let you go first, man. You're itching to tell us.
Yeah. You know, it'd be easy to go out and say like Ty Majeski, right? Or like Sawalich, you know, because Sawalich ran ARCA short tracks all year long. Majeski short track master, even Priest. I mean, Priest would be a pretty safe option, I would think. But I'm gonna go with the bulldozer, baby. The bulldozer. I'm going with Hocevar. I just think that Hocevar's, and you know what? I think Hocevar and Chastain are two peas in a pod, and I think that they are two of the most truest drivers that we got to witness in the past 5 years. In auto racing, they have a goal, and they're gonna do their damnedest to get that goal and accomplish it. And Hocevar, he's not just gonna go out there to try and finish the race. He's gonna try to win the damn thing. And I think that Hocevar is gonna do everything he can to win that race. And I think he's gonna be up front pretty much all race. So I'm gonna go with Hocevar. I think it's gonna be awesome. There's gonna be so much drama. I love it.
If we can find a way to watch it, maybe potentially, I don't want to commit to it 100%, but maybe potentially in a long shot, dark shot world, maybe we can do a watch party. Maybe. Don't hold us to it.
Yeah, baby.
I love the pick of Hocevar. I really do. I think he is just phenomenal. I'm a huge Hocevar guy, man. There's a handful of drivers in the world that I love watching race, and he's on that handful of driver list. I've thrown out Pato Ward. I mean, like you said, Chastain, Hosvar, Pisnapov, Pato's right there with him. I think Esteban Ocon's
Yeah.
right there with him. These are guys that are just going to do whatever it takes. They don't give a damn what anybody thinks. They'll piss stupid off their teammates, their team owners, their sponsors. They don't care. They're there to win, and I love that about him. That Hosvar is one of them. But the guy that I'm picking Noah Gragson. Noah Gragson, Revenge Tour 2024 is going to begin the very end of 2023. Snowball Derby champion again for the second time in his career. And he's going to do it and just absolutely will that thing to victory. He's going to show that he is still at the top of his game, deserving of a cup ride. And he's going to kick butt this weekend at Snowball Derby. I'm here for it, man. I want the Noah Gragson, Lyle Gragson comeback tour. I want to see him in the Cup Series next year. I think it's the first step.
Hot take.
That is a hot take, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Alrighty. Yeah, that's all the news I got. We covered the races, our Bonehead Driver of the Week segments, points. I guess one last thing I want to talk about here before we send you guys off this weekend or this week for this episode of the podcast is I want to know all of the entries this year, manufacturer-wise, in the World Endurance Championship Hypercar class. Cadillac's back, Porsche's back, Toyota's back, Ferrari's back, Peugeot is back. But we've also added Lamborghini, Alpine, BMW, and Isata Frascini. That's a lot of manufacturers next year. I am so excited. And World Endurance Championship FIA, they are hoping to get 40 plus entries by 2025. I think that right now in the sports car, endurance racing field of motorsports is just on an absolute up right now. We've got rumors that Aston Martin, McLaren are going to be joining in 2025. Maybe new manufacturers find interest in the sport. I feel like right now, World Endurance Championship is basically the front runner for manufacturers competing in the world. Formula One claims to be this and wants to be this, but it's World Endurance Championship, man. This is the best way for brand identity. You get way more return for your investment by running in this. Am I not wrong or am I right? I don't know.
Who? Look, here's my one question: who's the engine manufacturer for that? Saudi. I
The
forget the
Asada
team name.
Frashina or
Asada,
Frashina?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
one.
exactly sure.
Because they don't make their own engines.
Yeah, I
Do
don't know.
they?
It's gonna be interesting. I would sure maybe the
Hon-
Ferrari power plant, but it's gonna be their own chassis. I don't know.
Honestly, I would probably take like Lamborghini or something, right? They're either gonna
Why
be
not?
super freaking awesome or they're gonna
They'd
be
be
super
dog water.
sucky.
Yeah,
Like
it's no way between there.
like dog water on a 98-degree day in southern Georgia. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting for sure. But I'm excited. I'm excited. That's what 4, 8, 10 manufacturers next year competing for the
Yeah.
World Endurance Championship. That's insane. That's crazy to me. And then you also got like other Porsche teams, like Joda's gonna have 2 entries next year, and they're running Porsche. They're kind of an independent team with Porsche backing. Kind of, it's weird how that all works. And then you got Proton running Porsches as well. Ferrari's actually running 3 entries next year instead of just 2. So I mean, these teams have got a lot to gain, a lot to earn and win here. Um, I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. I'm ready for
It's gonna be a freaking awesome season. That's
Which
all I
leads
gotta say
me-
about that.
it. To my next point here is kind of what we're thinking for the next 4 podcasts. Next weekend, we're going to do a WEC IMSA 2024 season preview. We're going to go through all the teams, drivers. We're going to go through the schedule, maybe potential races to look out for, dark horses, potential championship favorites, manufacturer favorites. Kind of just a whole overview of everything we think is going to happen in IMSA. We're also going to do one for NASCAR the following week, one for IndyCar the week after that, and one for Formula One. Be the final episode of 2023. So what I'm going to do after this podcast, I'm going to put a post out. It's going to basically be open-ended, asking you guys to give us questions or talking points you'd like to find out about with the World Endurance Championship IMSA season in 2024. And we will answer them live here on the podcast. So please, whatever question it is, if you got a question on like, hey, who's the driver lineup for Ferrari next year? we'll lay it all out for you. We'll talk about it. We'll tell you who they are. Your question could be as simple as something as like, what is the schedule? Like, what is the one race you're most looking forward to? We'll answer that for you. If you got any other questions, like what is an LMDH car? What is the difference between hypercar and GT3? If you're getting new into sports car racing, deliver us questions. We'll provide you the answers you're seeking. So
Don't be you know, don't be scared to ask any type of question because even if it's an opinion, go ahead, state it.
yeah, I
We'll talk
agree.
about it.
There's no dumb questions. They're just dumb answers from the Dega Boys. So be prepared.
Yeah, that's right.
Alrighty. So yeah, that's what we'll have to look forward to. Next week will be, and we'll combine IMSA and WEC all into one because they're kind of it's basically the same thing, just different parts of the world, different championships we won. So we'll kind of cover them both in one full episode. So it'll be fun. And then, like I said, we'll do one for NASCAR. We'll go over ARCA, Trucks, Xfinity, Cup Series all in one episode. We'll do IndyCar, Indy NXT in another, and then we'll do Formula One, Formula Two in the final one of 2023. So those are what you have to look forward to for the next 4 podcasts. And then we'll jump into the new year with a bunch more awesome topics and stuff to talk about there. But that will pretty much do the episode. I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming and enjoying this podcast with us here on this lovely Tuesday evening. We appreciate all the likes, comments, subscribes that we've had recently. Go check out a bunch of our shorts. They've just been taking off. It seems like you guys are enjoying those. They're getting a lot of views, a lot of traction. Thanks to all of our new subscribers. I mean, I was looking at it today. We've gained over 100 subscribers over the last month. It's just been insane, the growth of this channel. We're on that road to 1,000 subscribers. So make sure to tell your friends, family, loved ones, your coworkers, your boss. Get some clout there by helping out the Dega Boys. That'd be awesome. Make sure to go check out all the links in the description to all of our socials. It's actually on the bottom of the podcast now. Go follow us on TikTok, Patreon, X, and Facebook. Get more updated content there. Go look out for our posts, like I said, with the IMSA post and the WEC post that we're going to have coming out. Deliver your questions. Can't wait to see what you guys have to say. Also, go check out our shop. Go buy your exclusive Dega Boys gear. Get swagged out for the holidays. Great Christmas presents for anybody that loves racing. We got all kinds of cool merch in there. Get them a coffee mug. Get them a t-shirt. Get them some jogger pants. You know, something they can open all their presents on at Christmas. Have them open it first on Christmas Eve, so they're all swagged out for Christmas Day. That'd be fun. And would you like to talk about the King of Camo?
Oh yeah. Of
Awesome.
course,
Give me
I
some of
love
there.
talking about.
Heck
All right, so check this out. We've got a great channel partner with the King of Camo. Look, go over to their YouTube channel. It's linked in our featured channels on our channel. So easy clicks. That all you have to do, go click on it. Go jump over to their channel real quick. Go give them a like and a subscribe and a comment on all of their videos. Tell them the Dega Boy sent you. Look, if you like firearms, anything from mild to wild, these guys got you covered. They've got plenty of shorts and videos to show you guys what they do day in and day out. Great partners here with the Dega Boys, and we really appreciate them. Just go over there, give them a subscribe, a like, and a comment. Tell them Dega Boy sent you. It means a lot to them. It means a lot to us as well. As being partners with them, it's great.
Yeah, they're awesome guys. Ryan and Nate. Go check out their content. Those dudes are just cool. Oh man, I'm excited for. I don't want to spoil it. I want to badly, but
yeah.
just keep tuned to the channel. You guys will find out. And then also I want to give a shout out to Dallas Seward for being a member of our channel now for a couple months. If you want to become a member of our channel, which would help us out tremendously to help us make more of this awesome, great content you see on a weekly basis, go subscribe to our membership program. There's all different types of tiers to choose from the lowest tier to the highest tier. You're going to get great perks and benefits on all of them. Pick one that best suits your interest in the channel, and we would greatly appreciate that because it goes back to help us out a ton. Thanks to everybody again for tuning in here tonight for episode 45. We'll be back next week for episode 46, and also we'll catch you tomorrow. We got a little bit of Daytona action with the Nexus Sim Racing Leagues. Got to come check that out. That should be a lot of fun as well. Until then, this has been the Dega Boys, episode 45, Full Send Have Mess podcast, and we will catch you all in the next one. Have a good evening.